Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this Advent calendar box, whatever you want to call it. And I used just my scoreboard to make the little individual boxes. So each box is 3 by 3 by 3, and it just pulls out like a little drawer, and you can put whatever you want in there. And then there's decorated with a three-dimensional sleigh on top with a reindeer for number 25. It's double-sided, so you got 12 on each side. 12 there, 13 through 24 there. All right, so let's get started. First of all, let's go through what you need, because you need a lot of cutting and scoring first. So start with 24 sheets of cardstock, and they can be whatever color you want to make your boxes out of. I used a white, and you want a relatively heavyweight cardstock because it's construction, but it doesn't have to be like 300 GSM, but just I think this is I'm pretty sure this is 80-pound cardstock, which is borderline. 100-pound would probably be better, but it's what I had. And because you need 9 by 9, so you're going to cut 24 sheets to 9 by 9, and then you're going to score at 3 inches on all 4 sides. So score 3, all the way around. Then you're going to cut each corner out to make, so you cut down that score line and then cut at an angle up to this score line. Maybe if I score it or bend it, it'll be a little bit easier to see. So you're going to cut that score line, cut it, and then I cut a little angle, and then I cut this part off just to keep, to make it easier, because when you fold it in, then you just have a tab as opposed to a piece that goes all the way across. So you need 24 of those. And then you also need 24 squares that are 8 5/8, because these are going to be the drawers that slide in, and you want them a little bit smaller, so that like 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that it will slide in and out easily. So 8 5/8. And then these I scored at 2 7/8. I did the same thing as the others, but 2 7/8 on each side all the way around, and then again cut those out. And then you're just going to assemble those boxes. So you just go through and fold at all the score lines. And the way I did, I used wet glue, tacky glue. You can use whatever adhesive you want, but I find the tacky glue the easiest. And if you're fairly quick, you can kind of get it on all 4 tabs and then assemble, because once you start putting the sides up, it gets harder and harder to get the glue onto the tabs. So if you want to use a tape pen, you can use a tape pen, but I found the tacky glue is the easiest. And then you just want to fold that up and make sure that side is lined up perfectly. And you want to do that all the way around. Oh, this is. And then once you get all those corners up, I just kind of press from the inside to get the glue all the way down. So what I'm doing is I'm just running my finger down here and pressing it against the glass mat. And you want to just assemble all 48, and obviously keep them separate, but yeah, 24 and 24. So I'll be back with you after my boxes are all assembled. Okay, I'm back with you. I've made all of my boxes. So these are the 3 by 3 by 3 boxes, not the 2 5/8 or 2 7/8 boxes. So what you're going to do to glue these together is you want to glue them in rows of 4 like that. And the thing you want to be careful of is just to make sure that they're lined up on all 4 sides. So I'm just going to take some tacky glue and put just a little bit on there. And we want to make sure the front's lined up, the back's lined up, all 4 sides are lined up. So that's where the wet glue is nice, because it gives you a little bit of wiggle time to make sure that you get them all, everything lined up properly. And once you get them lined up, just press them together. Okay, and then just go on to the next one. And you just want to do them in rows of, well, I did them in rows of 4. I mean, you can do them in any pattern or design you want, but you want to make sure the fronts are even, because that's going to be visible. You want to make sure the tops are even, because they're going to stack one row on top of the other one. So I moved it around too much. I think my glue's not sticking. Okay, we'll do the last one. You can hold it whichever, or put them, stack them up whichever way is easiest for you. But okay, now once you've got your rows of 4, so I've got rows of 4. You got 3 rows of 4, and I'm going to stack them up one on top of the other, just like that. So I got to glue my rows of 4 together. And this one seems to be the flattest on the top, so that's going to go on my top. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. And you could, I did one where I did one, I glued those 4, and then I did box 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't know that it's any easier to do it one way versus another. Doing the rows of 4 seemed to be a little bit easier to handle. But try different things and see what works best for you. And then this is, you have 3 rows of 4, so you get 12, which is half, right? Because you got 24 boxes. So, and I'm just holding them on the corners and making sure those fronts line up, and making sure the sides line up. If the back isn't perfectly aligned, it doesn't much matter, because you're going to put them back to back. So this is going to get somewhat hidden. So now I've got my 12 boxes all glued together. And now I'm going to I've got my other 12 already done, and I'm going to glue those back to back, just like that. So And in this case, it's really important to get it lined up, because if you don't, it's not going to go together too easily. So, in fact, in this one, I should have used the other glue that lets me wiggle it around a little bit more, but I think I get it. And when you got it, just push down, let that glue grab. It's just a little bit off, but I can fix that. Yeah, I am going to use, with this one I've got this Kalal all-purpose glue, and it's just, it doesn't dry as fast or grab as quick, but it gives you wiggle time more so than the tacky glue, which is more, quick grabbing. And in this particular situation, it's more important to have the wiggle time than the quick grabbing. So get them all lined up. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to set this to the side so it can be drying. In the meantime, you need to cut your mats and layers. So these are my smaller boxes. So these are 2 7/8. Yeah. So these are my 2 7/8 boxes, and they're going to slide in this way. So with the opening here. And I guess I could have mat and layered them before I put it together, but I didn't. So, and what you need is you need 24 pieces of whatever cardstock or whatever you're going to put on the front. And I just cut some black cardstock, and then I'm going to mat it with some of the silver glitter card. The silver glitter card is from Crafter's Companion Festive Sparkle Luxury Glitter Card Collection. So it's from that paper pad. And my black matte layer is 2 3/4 square, and then my silver is 2 1/2. And I made it just a little over 2 1/2 because I wanted a really thin black layer as opposed to a full 1/4 inch. So it's more like 2 5/8 maybe. And so I'm going to glue these together and glue them on. Just to show you. So the other thing you'll need to do is put numbers on them. And I think I'll probably put the numbers on actually before I glue them onto the boxes. So you're going to mat and layer, or if you just want one layer of cardstock, that works too. But you're going to mat and layer each of those pieces on, and then we're going to put a number on. You can use any numbers you want. The number die that I have that I liked is, let me find it. There it is. It's a Crafter's Companion die. It came from one of the craft kits, I think. One of the purple boxed craft kits. And you just have to cut enough of these numbers. Obviously, you need all of the numbers twice, and then you need the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3 times, and then you need the 1s and the 2 enough to do the the teens and the 20s. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of those, and I'm going to cut them out of black cardstock that'll go on top of the silver, and I'll be back with you once I've got all that done. Okay, I've got my mats and layers all done. I've put my numbers on, and then I'm going to glue these onto the little boxes. And you want to make sure that you glue them on so that you're basically, because you're going to create like a little drawer. So I'm going to glue them on to the, and if your paper has a pattern, make sure you put your numbers on the right side up. But you want these to sit with the open side up and then the number like that. So glue these on. So again, open side up, and then the numbers facing this way, because you're going to slide them in and out like this. And you can decorate the panels however you want. I just did 2 mats and layers and numbers, but if you want to do them differently with pictures of stuff, or just one piece of cardstock instead of a mat and layer, whatever you want to do. Okay. There's all my little boxes. Now, I'm going to now this is all dry, but to give it a little more strength, I'm going to use a matte and layering. So I need this is just matte black cardstock in an A4 size, and I cut it into I didn't cut the length at all, but I cut the width into about 6 and a tiny little bit, just on the high side of 6, because this is just about 6 inches wide, and I want it to be just a hair over. Now, you can see that it's not long enough, because this is very 12, but it's actually a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, but there's my 12 ruler. And you can see that even though each of these is 3, by the time you get the seams, it's just a little bit more than 12. So you could use an A3 piece of cardstock if you want, but I didn't do that. What I did is I kind of pieced it. So I'm going to, hopefully you can see this, I'm going to put a piece down here, and I'm going to wrap it. So I'm going to score it, and so that it wraps around the top and the bottom. So what I want to do, I want to score this. So this is 11, just shy of 11 3/4. And I know that the height of this is just a little bit over 9. So if I score it at about 1 3/8 on each side, so an A4 piece of cardstock, it's just a little over 6 in length, and I scored it on one side at 1 3/8, and then when I was going to score it up both sides 1 3/8, but when I wrapped it around just to test it, I need about an extra 1/4 inch. So this one's at 1 1/8. So if you did it at 1 1/4 at each end, it would be equal, but it doesn't much matter. And then you're just going to fold that. And you're going to do that on 2 pieces. And you need 4 pieces of the black cardstock. So full A4 in length, just a little over 6 inches in width, and you want to make them even. So you want to make sure that they're exactly the same width, because they're going to show up. And you want 2 of them scored at, say, 1 1/4 on each side, and then burnished. And those are going to be on your sides, on each side, like this. And then we're going to put 1 piece across the top, 1 piece across the bottom. And I did both the top and the bottom, mostly to finish it off, but also to give it some added strength, because this cardstock's not the strongest. So hopefully you can see this. I'll put some, and I'm going to use my collal glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle time too. And this stuff dries like concrete, and so it gives the overall structure some more rigidity. So I'll put one side in, and we're just going to put it on the bottom and on the top, and we're just going to line up the sides, top and bottom. And then press it down. If you wanted to really add some strength, you could use like a mount board. But I found that with the collal glue and this black matte cardstock is actually really thick and strong, so it worked out. Same on the other side. And this will be your true test of whether you got your boxes all layered up straight or not. And if you didn't, you can kind of fudge it around a little bit. That's why I use the collal glue, because it gives me a little bit of time to wiggle things into place. Just want to get it good and stuck. Then we're going to take, so I've got 2 more pieces of the black matte cardstock, and I'm going to put one on the top, and we're just going to, it's not going to go the full length, but that's okay, because that's why I overlapped the other black. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So this is just flat on the top and flat on the bottom. And I'm going to put a layer of the glitter cardstock on top of it anyway, so it's really not going to show that much. But do your best to kind of get it even and square with the black on each ends, so that it looks like it's more like it's all one piece. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And at this point, actually, it doesn't really matter. You can pick the top and the bottom depending on which one you think looks best, I guess. Or, I mean, in theory, they should be exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then we're going to put, I cut 3 pieces of the glitter cardstock, and this is just under 6 inches wide, and the sides are just about 9 inches high, and this is just the full 12-inch length. And we're going to put that onto our sides and our top. So let's start with the top. You just want to center it, and you're going to have a little bit of that black matte layer showing, but not much, which is why I didn't mind overlapping it, because it's not really showing much anyway. It's just a thin little matte layer, mostly for strength and just to make sure that the whole thing is covered. And then we're going to put one on each side. And again, if your cardstock has a pattern, make sure you put the your layers right side up, or at least the same side up. Just center it on there. Side. Okay. That looks pretty good. Then you're just going to take all your drawers and slide them in however you want. So I'll lay it down so you can see. So I did mine 1, and as you can see, they just slide right in there because you made them, I made them just like 1/8 of an inch smaller, so they've got just enough room to slide in. Now, this only gives you 24. If you want to do a 25, I'll show you what I did, and for a little bit extra decoration. So there's my 12. Spin it around. You know, you could use the same design to make like a little jewelry chest almost if you wanted to. It doesn't even have to be an advent calendar. I only did an advent one because I'm using them this Christmas with my kids. So, and there we go. All right, so now what I did for decoration is I put a sleigh with a reindeer on top, and let me show you how I did that. So I used the Crafter's Companion Christmas Sleigh dies, and I used the main 2 dies along with the runner. I didn't use the rest, mostly because I felt like it already had enough decoration, so I didn't need a bunch more, but you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, now I cut this out of red, and I made it a 3D sleigh. So to do that, you need 1 on each side. But if you cut it out of the red mirror card this way both times, the way you would normally do it. On the back side, the red's going to be on the inside instead of on the outside. So what I did is I cut the first one just like you normally would. So just get it in there. Tape it down. Because I don't want those dies to overlap. And I think I can just run it through my MIDI. Okay, so there's one piece. I need a second one. But this time, piece cut off. This time you need to cut the die into the wrong side of the paper. So it looks like you're basically cutting it backwards. I don't know how to describe that. But instead of cutting into the red, you're cutting into the back. Let me run this through. Now, when I did this the last time, I had a bit of a problem getting through the coating on the... So the first time I did it with actual mirror card as opposed to the matte mirror, and when I cut it backwards this way, this one, so when I cut into that, it didn't cut through the coating on the card in my MIDI, so I needed to put it through my Gemini Junior with the metal shim in to cut through, but on the matte mirror it seems to have gone right through, so that's good. So that makes the two sides of my sleigh. So now, since I cut them that way, see, I got red on both sides, so that's good. But then I need the runners, and I want those in silver. Let me find some silver card here. And I need 2 of those. And I need to do the same thing with these. One cut sort of down into the silver and one cut on the back side of the silver. Now, one thing to know is when you cut into the back side of the card, and you can see it on this one, you can see the impression from my folder. So I really should have put an extra piece of cardstock or something on top of that so that I didn't get that impression. Not really happy with that, so I might have to decorate that. But so let me cut first one down into the silver. I guess an even better option is to cut them in double-sided cardstock if you had it, but I wanted to use the mirror card, so, and my mirror card isn't double-sided, so. Okay, there's one, and so that one's cut this way, and then on this one, remember, I need to cut down into that, and this time I'm going to put just a piece of some scrap white cardstock in there just to see if I can keep it from marking the cardstock. Okay. And as you can see, because I cut this one down the other way, it will actually go on that side. Perfect. I'm going to mount this on another piece of cardstock. So I do need the outside die one more time. So I need 2 of these. This way. And since the black is double-sided, it doesn't really matter which side you cut down into. But you need 2 of those. Okay, so let's glue all these together. There's our 2 sides to the sleigh. Now, if you want to make a 3D sleigh, I've got the 2 sides, but I need something to go in the middle. So what I did is I looked at these and I said, okay, if they line up like that, I get my ruler, and I want it about 4 inches across, and I've got about 5 inches in there to make a box. So I'm going to go 5 by 4, and it's going to be 2 inches high. So 5 by 4 by 2. So if it's 5 this way, 4 this way, and 2 high. So 5 and 2 high and 4. So if it's 4 across and then 2 and 2, that's 8. And then 5, 2, and 2 is 9. So I need a square or a piece of black card that's 8 by 9. So this is 8 1/4. That's close enough. So let's cut this to 9. Take my scoreboard and I'm going to score it 2 inches on every side. And it doesn't matter if you use box. That'll give me a box that's 5 by 4 by 2. So take my scissors. And this is the same way that you make all boxes. Same way you made the white boxes. And there's your center of your sleigh. And then you're just going to glue your sleigh onto each side so that the bottom is flush with the bottom of the sleigh is flush with that. And then make sure that it's lined up this way so that you can't see it. And then you're going to line this one up on the same other side. And let me put the first one on first and then I'll show you. So some glue. Put that on level with the bottom. And then you're going to want to put the other one on, but you want to make sure that when you put it on, it's lined up in the same spot. So what I did is I put the box on my glass mat, and then when I put this on, I made sure that that front section, I got to do it this way so I can see, is at the same spot on the glass mat. And that's, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to, you don't want it completely skewed because then it just looks wonky. So if you stand it up, set that box on a line, then you can line up the base there and then get it even. And that gets it close enough. And as you can see, 2 inches comes just below that so it doesn't show. If you wanted to make a bigger box or a smaller box or narrower or whatever, you just adjust that. Okay, so now I'm going to glue my, so here's the, well, I'm going to turn it around. So this is the front of my box. And I'm going to glue that sled right onto the top with some hot glue. So I'm just going to put some hot glue right here on the bottom and press it down on there like that. I wanted a reindeer to pull my sleigh, and I found this reindeer ornament at the dollar store. And I thought, well, that'll work. So I just took the string off. And I'm going to glue that reindeer, standing up right in front of my sleigh with some hot glue. So just glue that wherever you want it. Press it down. Then I'm going to put some hot glue just on the feet that will touch. Big dollop of glue on there. And I'm going to press his feet down and hold it. Okay. Now, that's 24 boxes. I wanted mine to be 25. So I found I was going to use the sleigh for number 25. And I mean, you could turn this into an actual box that opens and use that for 25. But what I found is I found these little Santa bags at the dollar store, and there were 2 for $1 or $1.25, and I thought that would be perfect. So because they're just like that and they fit right in the sleigh. So what I did, so make a little tag out of black card. So I have a little smaller one, and I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to cut it off straight so that I don't have the hole at the top. I don't think it's going to nest exactly. It's not really tags aren't really for nesting, but I'll make it work. Okay. Actually, I guess you could do that. Maybe I will do that, and I'll just trim that bottom part off. Yeah, I think I like that. There. I like that. And then we're going to put the 25 on there. So I found it easiest to do the numbers because these are so small with tweezers. So And then I think I'm gonna put that on with some foam pads, or with a foam pad. But I want to line up the holes because I'm gonna put it through there, a sticker through there. Yeah, I like that. And then I have a piece of silver twine. So then I just took the bag and fed that through there, tied it in a little bow. And then that's going to go in my sleigh. There's my finished project. And so I put my little tag on the bag for 25. And I got little drawers for each day. You can see they just slide right out. They're 3 by 3 by 3, so you can put whatever you want in there. You could put little small toys or candy or sweets or, I don't know, socks or whatever. So, all right, hope you enjoyed that. And if you make one, make sure you share it. Thanks. Bye.